At the very beginning, we were looking for a horse. The captain of the company,
Hungarian?
of which he was a major, really. Yeah, Hungarian. Yeah, Hungarian, real hung. He was striving for a horse to his liking, and he would like to ride a horse of his own that should belong to him. So we were always on the lookout, everybody was. His chiefs that he was getting together with especially were looking out for a horse to please for him. Please, he should be pleased with. So they brought different horses, but one was this wrong, this wrong. Finally, they brought him a horse that he got to like. And he wanted to ride that horse himself. But that horse was very sort of a wildish horse. He was probably never ridden before, and he was young, still a young, what do you call it, colt?
Colt.
Colt. And he wanted that horse to somebody should ride it and bring it to him. And nobody could ride that horse because everybody was thrown off of it. And that was without saddles or anything, bareback. And I was watching too, and everybody else was standing around and watching how they tried to get on the horse and off the horse, and they was thrown off, and then all these things are happening, and nobody could ride them so far, so they gave up. And I was always came to quietly, like somebody don't have the trust to tell them, hey, I would like to go ahead and ride that horse, because I was sort of little and small, and I figured to myself, a horse like that, nobody would believe me anyway that I could try and see it. But I always came, and I said to my friends there, I would like to see whether I could ride him. I would like to see whether I could ride him. So finally,
because you had
everybody gave up.
You had experience growing up
I had
with
experience
horses.
before. I could jump on any horse if I could only reach the mane on top with the hair. Then I jumped up and I was there, right on it, in seconds. So that at that time I was a little bit out of practice, and I didn't have the power that I used to have while I was eating fat well. So I was telling my people that I had knife to talk to. I says to the guy, I would like to ride the horse, and he went and said to the chiefs who were trying to ride the horse, and that I would like to try it. But they just dismissed that right off hand. They looked at me and they right away, they said, no. You wouldn't be able to not even get on it. So finally, when everybody gave up, so I said, I was pleased that nobody could ride him, so I had more nerve to came and say, "Hey, I would like to ride that horse. Look at me." So he said, "Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, jump on it." So I went ahead and got on the horse. Within seconds, I really tried my very best at that time, because I figured now if I fail, I'm sure not going to be again. So I jumped on it, but all of my mind was just to stay on the horse, nothing else. I figured to myself, I don't want to ride nothing, just to stay on the. He shouldn't throw me off. So that's what I did. I squeezed my knees on the horse and with my crooked legs, which they came in very handy at that time, because I grabbed the horse from the bottom, like this, and I had these bow-legged, I was bow-legged, not sure bow-legged, and I got a hold of the horse and I stayed on it like several times. I thought I'll get off the horse, I'll fall off, and something will happen. But I managed to stay on it. And until the horse took off on its own, started running, unbelievable. And when I see him, she runs, the horse runs, so I went ahead and encouraged them, faster, faster, faster. So the horse was running as fast as it could be, and I just let it go, and I stayed on the horse, nailed down like a nailed down. So finally, he was running out of the place where we were at that time, way, way far away. I couldn't even see the people no more, and they didn't see me, and they thought I'll get lost somewhere. But that horse knew how to come back too, and I told him finally when he started to slow down, and finally he slowed down, so he tired out, looked to me like he sweated up completely. He was sweated, I was sweated, and it was cold at that time. And I turned him around, and he came running all the way to the same place where we started. And then I got off, and after that, anybody could ride him. So they all tried it, and I broke in the horse for him. So the captain was present at that time, those days, and he said, well, this gentleman here, he called me gentleman, and he says, he is going to be taking care of my horse. He is the fellow, broke him in, and he knows it, and he's going to be they call them chichkash. That means to make the horse looking good.